New intro today, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. So, Asmongold is wrong about Bernie Sanders. I've heard Asmongold talk about supporting Bernie Sanders on several occasions, and it may be the most retarded thing that he has ever said. Bernie Sanders is a career politician. He is somebody that is a bought and paid for Democrat crony. And I know that Asmongold was coping with this. His audience was pushing back, thankfully. But he was coping with this by saying, oh, Bernie is just a pragmatist. No, Bernie is a corrupt, pathetic career politician. And he's somebody that will go on a podcast and say something that, Asmongold will go, oh, true, based. But the reality is that he's a piece of shit. He's a lying, deceitful extremist. He is as extreme as somebody like Hassan. And I don't say that lightly, but here we have a clip of Bernie Sanders sounding the alarm, calling for massive protests, saying Trump's second term is like Hitler's rise. You don't get to say something like that. That retardedly stupid, that treasonous, that pathetic, that absolutely divorced from reality, and then get this sort of like glowing recommendation like, oh, yeah, yeah, Bernie's a good guy. No, he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. Now, we're going to watch this clip, but this guy is a snake. This guy is somebody that will say what he thinks he needs to say on any given program, but when it comes right down to it, when his mettle was tested, he folded. Not once, but twice. He took the money, he bought a couple extra houses, and, basically backstabbed all the people who supported him. This guy is a cockroach. He's a leftist, pathetic piece of shit, and he's a radical. And this guy doesn't need to be anywhere near the levers of power.
Cannot wait.
He and his party and his ideology lost. He does not speak for the majority. Him and his fringe freak cabal of identity politics leftists. And by the way, I know that some people have tried to defend him saying, oh, no, he's not an identity politician. No, he absolutely is. And this is the thing. You can like Bernie Sanders, but understand, if you do, you're retarded. And what he believes is retarded. And his rhetoric is retarded. And I think that needs to be called out unambiguously. And I think that it needs to be a point of, you have to be honest. Asmon, if you support Bernie Sanders, that may be the most retarded position that you have. And I know that you got very, I don't want to say emotional. You kind of did when people were pushing back because you obviously like this guy, but you shouldn't. You can, but you shouldn't. This guy's a fringe. This guy's a crack. This guy's a complete nut job. To even invoke Hitler when talking about Trump, I'm not going to say, oh, I wish Trump was like Hitler. No, I wish Trump were the authoritarian that they're talking about, because that's what we need right now. We need somebody that's going to say, you know what, these rogue activist judges that are trying to undermine democracy, they do need to be thrown in jail. These illegal criminal aliens that have come into this country to abuse our system, they do need to be deported. We need somebody who's actually going to get the job done. And these people are in the way of this. These are the people that are going to try to defend the criminals and the illegals and the gang members, and they are going to put American citizens in jeopardy, in danger, to virtue signal. And I think that this cannot be understated enough, that people like him are the true danger to this country. The American people voted. They voted overwhelmingly. Trump has a mandate. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. And this freak goes on late night talk show hosts, platforms, and starts talking about Trump is Hitler and the American people, whether you're conservative or progressive. Bernie, the Democrat Party is at the lowest polling that it's ever been at. You don't speak for anyone. You're a sad, pathetic, washed up socialist freak. And you need to be called out for it because you don't represent the American people. You don't represent me, and you don't represent any of the people who voted for Trump. You're a fringe crackpot lunatic. And I think that that needs to be stated over and over and over because people like him talk about, well, if you're a conservative Republican or a progressive like me, you should agree with me. No, no one agrees with you. No one agrees with you. That's why your party lost. That's why you got absolutely trounced in the election. Trump cooked your lunch and ate it.
Where people get picked up off the streets and put in detention centers? Really? In the United
Yeah. Yeah, if you're here illegally, you 100%. Oh, by the way, if you commit a crime, you also get picked up and put in detention centers. Yeah, like Asmongold, I don't know how you possibly defend this guy. I don't know how you say you support this guy. It is one of your most embarrassing positions. That and abortion anytime, which is just an immoral, clusterfuck.
States of the media.
Oh, yeah. The president's suing the media for lying, for misrepresenting, slander, libel. I mean, like, all the things that the media does that are just evil and nefarious. This guy's a clown. This guy's a piece of shit. He is in defense of the evil system. And for somebody like Asmongold, who should know better, who claims to be the voice of reason, to defend this guy, I think is absolutely ridiculous. So, everyone is entitled to defend who they want. They are. That's not the point of this video to say that Asmongold can't do this. That would be insane. Oh, Asmon, you can't do this. You shouldn't. That's the thing. It's an ought claim. You shouldn't do this. You ought not to do this. Not you can't do this. Is one of the most transparent presidents in history. He takes more questions from the media than anyone. And the media is as deceptive, dishonest, and disgusting as any group in history. It is really quite alarming to watch these people like Bernie Sanders lie as easily as they breathe. Bernie Sanders is a bad person. He's a bad politician. He's a bad man. He doesn't represent what America represents. He's a fringe, crackpot person that promotes and embraces and defends evil at the expense of the American people. That's what he does. And that's what he's done his entire career. That's what he's done his entire career. And by the way, let me just put this on the record, because Asmongold has often said, well, yeah, he was very brave. He was very brave, standing up for civil rights. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. There's nothing brave in what he did. He did a couple sit-ins. Congratulations. No, that is so ridiculous to try to say he's some kind of civil rights hero, or that he's some kind of civil rights icon. No, he was arrested once. Who gives a shit? This guy's been connected for years. This guy has been stealing money from the American people to undermine their best interests. No. Yeah, I don't buy this. I don't. I think it's ridiculous to put any stock in this man.
Let's edit that part out, please.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to do this video because I think it's important to push back on certain things that you may see popping up from bigger content creators. Now, I understand. Channel size and disparity is what it is. But if I can even add 1 grain of sand to the weight to try to counterbalance the bullshit, I'm happy to do so. And I'm actually quite grateful in Asmongold's audience. I think that people don't give them enough credit. I think he's got a pretty good audience. Because they were immediately pushing back on Bernie Sanders. And Asmon was actually getting a little frustrated because people were pointing out the fact that, yeah, this guy completely stabbed the people who supported him in the back. Completely stabbed them in the back. And Asmongold's cope was, oh, he's a pragmatist. He's, he looked at the lesser of two evils. Anyone who thought that Hillary Clinton was the lesser of two evils is fucking mentally deranged, and they're unfit for public office, and they're insane. They just are. Hillary Clinton, that completely and totally destroyed the democratic process in the Democrat Party. And you think that person, oh no, it's Trump who's the threat to democracy. Yeah, This guy's a stooge. He's a clown. He'll do anything for money. He's corrupt. And I think that more people need to be honest and open and be unafraid to call this sort of stuff out. Trump is the dictator? Really? Are you insane? He is enforcing the mandate that he was elected on. He was elected to put America first, and he is one of the most transparent presidents I've ever seen in comparison to Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe Biden, that Bernie, you and all of your other cronies and Democrat cohorts lied about being cognitively well for years. You lied about COVID. You lied about Joe Biden. You lie as easily as you breathe. You're in no position to be talking about morality or anything else to anyone. You're a senile socialist freak. You collab with Hassan Piker, a terrorist supporter. No, fuck you. And everything that you stand for and everything that you are. That's my position on it. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a choice. You can either go with Asmongold's cope, or you can stand with me on the side of reality, which is that Bernie Sanders is a danger to this country. He actually is. What he represents and what he stands for is everything that America is not. This sort of socialist idea where it's Asmongold's thing was, oh, well, if you don't understand that lying to the American people and taking money, taking a large amount of money, by the way, to buy yourself a couple houses, because that's what socialists do. If you're not okay with that, then you're an idiot. I think that's what he was saying initially, is that he was getting more and more frustrated, and he was saying that people are idiots. I think that the opposite is true. I think that you're an idiot if you believe in Bernie Sanders. If you support Bernie Sanders, I think you're an idiot. I think that you have something cognitively wrong. There's something wrong where you're not able to look at all of the different available information and to pick one podcast where he's on with Andrew Schultz and say, yeah, this guy is so based. Bernie Sanders is a snake. He's a chameleon. He's somebody that will transform on whatever platform he's on, but the underlying message is still there. The underlying message that he's a socialist, that he is a far-left radical, that he will use the sort of violent and destructive rhetoric of Trump is like Hitler, Trump is a fed, they're rounding people up on the streets. Like, if you say that, if you come out with a line that Trump is rounding people up on the streets and just deporting them like illegal citizens, you should be arrested. That, my opinion is, you are doing a danger to this country. You are trying to incite violence, and that's initially what he was asked. Do you believe that people should take to the streets? Well, we've seen what happens when the left takes to the streets. They're violent. They hurt people. They burn down buildings. They loot. They steal. I mean, we saw it during the Summer of Love. So yeah, I have a different opinion on this than some people, and I'm outspoken about it. And you can let me know in the comment section who you side with. Do you believe that Asmongold is right, that Bernie Sanders is right about a bunch of this stuff, and that he is fit to be president, and that he was just being a pragmatist when he took a bunch of money from Hillary Clinton to sell out his own constituents, to sell out his own supporters? Or do you agree with me that he's a senile socialist piece of shit, a deranged commie nutbag that not only shouldn't be in public office, he should be in jail? That's my personal opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. See you next time.